where should you live based on astrology and based on based astrology. So I'm gonna give you in this video some insights, some downloads on astrocartography, how important it is, how you can use it, and really how damn accurate it is, and how really can help you shape your next moves when you're deciding where to go. And also I'm gonna look at the shifting world that we're living in, this crazy, rapidly evolving world, and at the different regions in the world. And I'm gonna give you some Dr. V commentary on how I see these regions evolve right now, specifically for people who are maybe thinking about moving somewhere as expats or as digital nomads. So let's go. All right, so we're gonna talk about two things in this video. First, I'm gonna give you a primer on astrocartography, why it matters. And second, we're gonna do a commentary on the evolving regions of the world from a based perspective, right? Okay, so a lot of people ask me, where should I move based on astrology? I have some, subscribers as well who are asking, where should we move? We're thinking, and I have oftentimes clients that I advise and that I work with and who ask me, look, I'm going into a new phase in my life and where should I go to, right? And I gotta say to that, well, the clients, I can help them, right? Because I can look at their unique astrocartography. And the astrocartography tells you so much about what's gonna work for you. It's like an insanely accurate tool. It's from all of astrology, which always again blows your mind with how accurate it is. Astrocartography is really up there with your saying like, okay, this stuff is designed, there is order and harmony in the universe, and things are synchronistically and serendipitously organized and arranged, and we can read the patterns and we can make use of the patterns, right? Astrocartography is like that, right? So you need to know your unique astrocartography. You need to know your chart when you're born, birth date and time and everything. And then you can project that onto the globe, and then you'll see the lines around the globe, the parans and the astrological, the lines, the projection lines. And then you'll be able to see, okay, if I go there, I will have this experience. If I go here, I will have that experience. And typically, if you just visit a place, just visit it for a week or two, you will get a little glimpse of that feeling that you will have. But if you stay longer, you will see the energy manifest. I can tell you from my experience, right? I have my North Node on the IC in Toronto, Canada, right? North Node is karmic connections, and IC is like tribe, home, family, right? And lo and behold, I have my family, right? Most of my family is in Toronto. And also when I went there or when I spent time there, I very quickly built up a tribe or like a community. I was literally running this big community center, and there was like, we built up a gang, tribe, so like a group of people held together by emotional bonds and karmic connections, right? And that's North Node on the IC, right? Contrast that for myself with Germany, where I grew up as a child. I spent a lot of time as a child there, and I had a lot of formative experiences. I was formed there, was kind of learned a lot of discipline and a lot of German things, but I always felt kind of rejected, or I always felt like it didn't work for me. I always felt it was cold. It was very cold for me. I didn't know why. People say it's just in your head. They say it's just in your head. I always felt much better when I went to Canada, even as a child, where my family was in Germany and Canada, right? So I always felt much more free. And then I learned about the astrocartography, and I see that I have in Germany my Saturn on the IC line. So that's a place where you can get your formation, but it's not going to be a place where you can feel warmth, right? Or even acceptance. In some ways, Saturn, although when you get older, you deal better with that energy. But when you're younger, still, Saturn is always hard to deal with, right? For older people, it's fine. For children, for younger people, Saturn is just too cold, right? Or think about, I have in London, UK, I have Sun exactly on the ascendant, right? And that's the place where, out of all places, I had the greatest and easiest self-expression, right? I go there and I just kind of very quickly find an audience. And I led a big transformation project there. I transformed a large organization, a large university actually as well. So, just a place where you can find an audience and your ideas can very quickly find an audience. Sun on the ascendant, right? And on and on. New York City, I got Jupiter on the descendant. The descendant is other people, other people. Jupiter on the descendant, I go to New York City, I immediately meet people who, like larger than life figures, larger than life. I met the guy, Banksy, the artist, just randomly, the artist that is a famous artist. He makes this, just people. I don't want to name them actually. I shouldn't be naming them. Most of them I shouldn't be naming. There's people who are doing all kinds of big things and so on and so forth. And just meet people quickly, right? And they start to talk and they start to develop some type of, let's work together, let's have this, let's have that. But then on the flip side, Jupiter can also be excessive and exaggerative, right? So I met a lot of people who promised more than they could keep, promised more than they would actually able to do, right? Jupiter on the descendant exactly nailed the experience for me, right? In that place. And I could go on and on and on and on. So you need to know where your astrocartography is. So if you're asking me, I have subscribers who are asking me, where should I move, right? It depends on your astrocartography. Book a consultation with me. You will find the links below and we will work this out for you. We will look at your chart. We will see what you need to develop most in your, and also depends on your phase in life. Just like I was saying before, Saturn on your IC as a child is not a place where you want to be. If you're in a phase where you're working hard and you're fine with Spartan lifestyle and you just want to reach something, fine, you could go there, right? It depends on your phase in life. You can't just say this line is good, that line is bad. It depends on your phase in life. It depends on your own chart. It depends on what's getting activated in your chart, and then you can see what you need in that phase of life, right? If you have certain transits coming that are activating your, let's say your Venus, and you might want to go to a place where you have a Venus line as well, in addition to the transits, to amplify that effect, right? So this is how you have to think about it. You need to understand all of these things to be able to say what place is good for you. Now let's get to the second part. And make sure to subscribe to this channel and like and comment, right? To boost the algo. Second part is I'm going to give you some feedback and insights on what I think is happening in the world right now. The world is shifting so fast. And I know because when people ask me I want to have a based perspective on where to go. I don't want to be, a lot of people want to just go away from places that are, that are limiting, there's no freedoms there, and the government is overreaching, or they're trying to, manipulate you and so on. It's just all of these problems that exist. And the world is shifting so fast. So the different regions are changing, right? Let's start with America, the US. US is now a great place, right? Is again a good place, I would say, right? Kids can go to school again without having to fear that they come back home and they forgot what gender they are, right? There's so much happening in the US. I don't need to go through all of this, right? The US is now the freest place again on earth. You can say that. The media is free, right? It's probably the freest place on earth again. It didn't used to be for the last few years, but now it is again, right? So that's great. If you want to be free, if you want to pursue something great, it's probably the best place. And now they're creating the conditions again for entrepreneurs to come, for businesses to come. Definitely something I'm considering again, right? And I wasn't before the last years. But us also, you need to be on a certain level already. It's expensive, right? It's expensive. Like to live there, you're going to spend far, far, far more to live the same lifestyle than you can live in many, many other places on earth, right? So I would say like US, great. It's a place to go to if you are able to sustain that lifestyle at a very, very high level, right? Let's move on. Europe right now, like Europe is probably the least good place on earth, unfortunately, right? Such a beautiful continent with so much culture, so much traditions, but unfortunately it's being run down to the ground by a bureaucracy in Brussels, which is getting more and more aggressive, and the next coming years are going to get worse and worse. CBDCs are going to be introduced in October 2025, which is going to give Brussels complete control over everybody's money. They're going to know every cent on euro that you own in Europe. They're going to know, and they'll be able to claim it for themselves, for war efforts, for any propaganda efforts, whatever they want to do. They're starting to overthrow elected governments in Romania. Now in France, they're starting to arrest people who are against their system for spurious reasons. They're starting to do that very, very, with impunity. And it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse unless something very big changes in Europe. And don't even get started with the immigration issues, the immigration problems that they have everywhere. They're bringing a lot of people who don't like the place. They bring a lot of people there. I know that myself. It's really horrible. If you go to places like Berlin in Germany, and Paris, you go to the banlieues, there's a lot of people there who hate the place. They hate the place, but they come there to use it, to make use of it. They come there and they're fine. The elites of Europe are somehow weirdly arranged with that. They have arranged themselves with that. The woke elites, they have arranged themselves with some very, very bad things for their own people, right? Europe's not a good place. Spain and Portugal, you could say, yes, they're more, at least less in danger of being hit by war, definitely. But still, you're not out of the control and the reach of the CBDCs and the control, the thought control, all of that. That's Europe. Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is a great place right now. A lot of freedom, a lot of no indoctrination, no woke stuff, right? And it's a very, very good life quality. Very good life quality. It's very dynamic. Southeast Asia, super dynamic. People are doing things and evolving, entrepreneurial, very entrepreneurial, right? Great food, great weather, all of that. It's easy to go to. Lots of expats, lots of digital nomads. There's one thing that Southeast Asia is an issue, that is a concern, and that's Neptune-Saturn conjunction right now, this year, next year. One of the images that stands for Neptune-Saturn is a war around an island, right? You know what I mean? Neptune, water, Aries, war, right? Saturn, cutting off, fighting. Saturn, Aries can be war around an island. That's Taiwan, right? That's Taiwan. So if there's a war around Taiwan, this can have bad effect on Southeast Asia. The disruptions, it can have all kinds of disruptions, all kinds. This is the one risk factor for Southeast Asia, right? Let's go to the next region, South America. South America is now, South America is going to be a battleground. It's going to be a battleground. Trump administration is really focused on South America, on getting people in countries in South America come on their side. But China is going to be strong there too. China is strong there, right? China has a big base of supplies and has a lot of supporters. And it's going to be a battleground in some ways. It's going to be a battleground. But also, the main battle is actually not even between the US and China. It's in South America itself, between, let's say, entrepreneurial politicians who want to bring their people further, right? And those politicians who are part of the systems of corruption. And, there's a lot of very, very kind of corrupt systems that exist. And the military and the police and everybody's kind of participating, and mostly politicians, right? And kind of very corrupt systems that are holding back the people. They're taking like a corruption tax on everything. But some places in South America are going to do great, right? Already you can see the signs of Bukele in El Salvador. His place is doing great. Milei is making some big moves for Argentina. We will see how it plays out, but it's starting to look good. Like Argentina is starting to look really good. So there are places in South America which are great, which are going to be really good, has everything you want, like good lifestyle, great food, and all of that. And it's going to be really good places, but also there's always going to be that risk factor, right? It's not a super stable region. Middle East, last one. Middle East, or actually three more. Middle East, Central Asia, India. Middle East, well, you got Dubai if you want to live the money lifestyle, the money vibe, right? It's kind of spiritually vacuous, if you ask me, spiritually empty. It's like Las Vegas, it's like, okay, you want to live there? And it's like, okay. I mean, maybe you want to make contacts just for contacts, but it's not very, I don't think it's a very enriching and fulfilling place in the long term if you're just looking at those money places in the Middle East. And the other places, the Middle East is always, unfortunately, the most tense place, the most disruptions, and that's going to continue. It's going to continue. In the next years, actually, a lot of disruptions will be focused there. Unfortunately, right? It's still not a place of peace. Probably the most beautiful in the traditions and the history and the heritage, but also a lot of tensions, a lot of darkness in the Middle East right now, unfortunately, right? So that's that. Central Asia is actually an interesting outlier, right? Central Asia has some places that are pretty cool and upcoming, Turkmenistan and so on. They're really interesting. But Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, I hear they're interesting. I haven't been myself. But there's a little people. It's not very diverse. There's nobody there, right? It's not like there's a lot of other people there. The last one is India. India gets a lot of bad rap for some reason. I mean, India is actually in the new setup, in the new world setup, is going to be one of the big winners. Is the big winners often overlooked. I think people should be looking at India much more, right? Because there's a couple. First of all, India is friendly with everybody in the new world order. India is making deals with everybody. Deals with China, deals with Russia, deals with deals with America, deals with Europe, deals with everybody. They don't care. We're cool. We're cool. We're cool as long as you do good deals with us. We do good deals with you. They're cool, and it's entrepreneurial. It's growing a lot. There's a lot of entrepreneurial energy, insane amounts of entrepreneurial energy, insane amounts of innovation, venture capitalists, right? Growing culture, spiritual culture is insane, right? There's a lot of good things. Obviously, yeah, there are tensions internally which are going to be problematic, but a lot of the bad rap that India gets is not deserved. It's like these people going there and, okay, it's diverse. It's the most diverse place on earth. It's extremely diverse. If you want to go there and search for some dirty stuff in the street and make a video, you're going to find very dirty, crazy stuff, right? And you're going to post it and say, look what I found. It's so dirty, right? Okay, you're going to find that in India because it's a super diverse place. It's just that's part of the DNA of India, that it's so diverse. Everything is a lot, everything has so many different perspectives, so many different sides, so many different angles, right? That's just what it is. That's just how the spiritual DNA operates, right? But on the flip side, you find amazing places, beautiful places, right? Super entrepreneurial, super creative, super spiritual, great vibe, great people. You find all of that in India as well, right? I'm just thinking myself of a place right now that I'd love to visit again. It's called Caucasus village in Delhi. Those of you I have Indians watching here, I love that place. Well, there's so many other places too. Right? So that's actually a place that more people should have on the agenda, or at least on the checklist to check out, right? Who are not having it right now. I think that's it. I went through all the regions. Again, but keep in mind, in order to understand what works for you best, which country exactly works for you best, there is no way around it. You need to look at the astrocartography. You need to look at your specific, unique astrocartography. If you want to do this together, you can find me in the links below in the consultations. Otherwise, have a great day and take care of yourself. Be well and be blessed.